What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best NFL player props on Prizepicks today. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong, got 22 right, which is a 95% win rate. Yes guys, you heard that right, 95% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 95% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets, and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $680 just yesterday, and another member who won $600 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Sand was here who said thank you, and shouts out to Garnet Brown G8M who said if this go, I'm signing up for VIP, and thankfully it did, so shouts out to them. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to talk about is none other than the DeAndre Hopkins for 1.5 receptions, and this one actually is for more. Now, looking at DeAndre Hopkins, we've actually seen him go on the over in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, we see on January 19th, faced off against Houston, actually had 0 receptions there. After that, we also saw have 1 reception on actually, January 27th against Buffalo Bills. Then they faced off against Philadelphia, had 2 receptions there on February 10th. Then Buffalo Bills had 2 receptions on September 8th. And then September 15th actually faced off against none other than Cleveland and had 2 receptions there. Now, obviously, some of these games are actually from last season, so you do have to take some of these games with a grain of salt. But we have seen so far this season, which was against Buffalo and Cleveland, we actually have seen DeAndre Hopkins be able to go on the over in 2 out of this season's games. So he's definitely at a very high usage rate coming into this matchup. Now, looking at the matchup here, we do know, or we are expecting a very good matchup, because we actually have Detroit Lions facing off against Baltimore Ravens. It is definitely going to be an exciting matchup, but looking at where both these teams do rank, and now I do also have to mention that this is the only game for today. So all the picks, you will see some overlap as they are all from this same game. But looking at Baltimore Ravens, they currently rank 3rd in the AFC North. They have a record of 1 win, 1 loss so far. That's a 50% win percentage. And, because of that, they are currently on a 1-game win streak. So they did win their most recent game, and they are hoping to do it once again. Now, they face off against the Detroit Lions, and Detroit Lions definitely had a very strong season last season. However, this season, they haven't really gotten off to the greatest start. They currently rank 3rd in the NFC North, where they actually have a record of 1 win and 1 loss. So they also do have, on top of that, a 50% win percentage as well. So for both these teams, this win is definitely going to be very important. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that Detroit actually do a pretty poor job at defending receptions. We are expecting someone or a team like Baltimore to be able to take advantage of this coming into this game. Now, obviously, when we look at Baltimore, they actually currently have already 33 receptions so far this season. Now, obviously, some of the other teams have already played their 3rd game. When it comes to Baltimore, they haven't played their 3rd game yet, but we actually did see coming into this matchup, we did see before that Baltimore actually ranked pretty well when it came to reception. So they do have a pretty good or high usage rate in the receptions department, especially for someone like DeAndre, who has been able to go on the over into, or pretty much all the games so far this season. So we are expecting, due to the high usage rate, we don't really expect DeAndre Hopkins really struggling there. We definitely do like the over for someone like DeAndre coming into this game. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the over for this one. Now his average over the last 5 is 1.4, but as I mentioned before, you do also have to take into account that some of these games are actually from last season. So I think overall we still do like the over for this one, especially against a matchup like Detroit. So DeAndre Hopkins, 1.5 receptions, 4 more, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Jake Bates. So Jake Bates, great player as we all know, and this one is for total field goals made for 1.5, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at someone like Jake Bates, we actually have seen him go on the under in, 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, as I mentioned before, when it actually comes to, Jake Bates and also the matchup, we do also know when it comes to his last 5 games, December 31st, faced off against San Francisco, had 2 field goals made there. Then Jan 6th, faced off against Minnesota, had 1 field goal made. 1 field goal made as well against Washington on January 19th. And then September 8th, faced off against Green Bay, had 2 field goals made, and then against Chicago had 1 field goal made on September 15th. So it has definitely been pretty interesting there. Obviously, looking at someone, like Jake Bates, we definitely have seen him go in the under quite consistently. But as I've always mentioned, when it comes to some of these matchups, the matchups are also some matchups that were from last season. September 8th against Green Bay and Chicago on September 15th are definitely the 2 most, sort of notable ones since they are from this season. But technically, we still have seen him go on the, under in 1 out of those games. So that's a 50% there. But coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one because we do also see when it comes to actually Jake Bates and Detroit, we do know that, Jake Bates or Detroit face off against Baltimore. We did see the Ravens come in at the 3rd spot in the AFC North, so they definitely have done a fantastic job there. On top of that, they also have a record of 1 win and 1 loss. So, obviously this game is definitely going to be a crucial one. It is still very early to really say that, they're doing poorly or anything like that, but definitely still not the best position for them. Now, coming into this one, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, but, looking at Detroit Lions as well, they are having the same record. So they currently rank 3rd in the NFC North. They have 1 win, 1 loss, and also a 50% win percentage there as well. So definitely has been pretty interesting in that sense. Now, obviously, coming into this matchup, we also do know that when we look at Detroit and Baltimore, we actually have seen that Detroit haven't really been doing too well when it comes to, getting a lot of field goal attempts. Yes, we did see Jake go on the over in that first game against Green Bay, but Baltimore actually do a great job defensively at that. And since Detroit have definitely been struggling, even though they were able to make it on the over, we think of just sheer volume alone, it may not be enough, especially against a really good team like Baltimore Ravens. Although Baltimore do currently rank 3rd in their conference, it is still a little bit different as it is still very early on in the season. So coming into this one's definitely going to be an exciting one, but we are expecting the under for this situation here. On top of that, when we also look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the actual under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Jake Bates, 1.5 field goals made for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson, great player, and this one is actually for total pass completion. So this one's an interesting one. Total pass completions for 18.5, and this one is for more. Now, looking at someone like, someone of Lamar Jackson's caliber, we actually have seen him go on the over in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on January 5th, faced off against Cleveland, had 16 pass completions there. Then 16 completions against Pittsburgh on January 12th. Faced off against Buffalo, had 18 completions on Jan 20th. Then September 8th, faced off against Bills again, had 14 completions. Then 19 completions against Cleveland on September 15th. So very, very interesting to see there. Obviously, looking at, a player like Lamar, we definitely have seen him do a fantastic job when it actually comes to, passing. Now, when it actually comes to the rate of Baltimore when it comes to passing, it is actually very, very high. Now, obviously, when it comes to their rankings right now, a lot of teams have played their 3rd matchup, so it is a little bit skewed when it comes to their rankings, as Ravens are a little bit lower, but that is due to the fact that some teams have actually played played their third game. But when we actually looked at before every team played their third game, we actually saw Baltimore and also Lamar Jackson specifically. His actual pass completions were very, very high compared to, other NFL teams. And especially with Detroit Lions, who don't really do a great job at defending that. They really do a pretty weak job, especially against very good QBs like Lamar Jackson. They do struggle a little bit when it comes to, restricting pass completions, and we are expecting someone like Lamar Jackson to be able to take advantage of this and go on the over there. So I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Lamar Jackson coming into this game. As I mentioned before, we look at what the bookies are saying. Bookies also haven't favored for the over as well. So Lamar Jackson, 18.5 pass completions for more, I think is a fantastic pick.